Hey, hi, I'm Dave Matrise from the band Jungle Rot. We'll be coming over there soon to Australia in the next 2 weeks, and we're getting ready, and we're excited as hell for our first time to be there.
Hell yeah, Dave. Thanks for joining us this morning, brother.
Yeah, good to see you. I'm excited. Let's
Oh,
get this going.
all right. So, does you say Jungle Rot are making your first ever trip to Australia next month to play a string of shows with Roddy and Christ, starting in Brisbane on May the 1st before going through Sydney, Canberra, and 2 or 3 shows in Melbourne too, I believe. So, it isn't far away, mate. Are you packed and ready to go?
I'm going to start tomorrow, actually. I'm running down the list tomorrow, and I'm going to start doing it and start mentally preparing myself. That's the hardest. I got to mentally prepare myself for that flight.
I bet you, and not just the flight, mate. The shows, like from my reckoning, you've got 6 shows in 6 consecutive days. Like either your booking agent doesn't like you, or you guys are in a hurry.
No, that's how we like it. We'd rather be playing every night, man. When you're on tour, you want to play every night because if you're not, you're going to spend money. So we'd rather try to make some money and work every night, you know.
Wow, am I actually talking to a smart musician? You were supposed to come out last April, mate, but that tour got postponed. So you must be really looking forward to it 12 months later. Like, I know it's a bummer and these things happen when tours get postponed, but you just work yourself up to do something for the first time. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, no, hang on, we'll go next year. It'll
Yeah,
be all right.
exactly. But we knew it was going to happen. You know, Anthony from your mate booking. He had the tickets already bought, so he had a year to use them. So we knew we were coming no matter what, and it happened lined up perfect. The timing was right with Riding Christ, and I think we got one show at Suffocation in New Zealand. So the timing was perfect this time. It's going to work out well.
Yeah. And speaking of your first times, mate, like, this is going to be the band's first time touring Australia. So are you the sort of guys that you'll talk to people that have been here before to find out what to expect and sort of get ready for it? Or are you just coming out of your cold and saying, hit me with your best shot?
We're just coming out cold and hitting this with the best shot. This is whatever we're heading for. It's exciting because we've never been there. So whatever it is, we're ready to take it on.
And, on the flip side of that coin, bro, like people out here won't know too much about what to expect from Jungle Rod either. So tell us what to expect firstly, and run us through like a typical Jungle Rod live show, if there's any such thing as a typical show.
Well, all I can say is we're the real deal. We're a real old school death metal band. I don't know if people ever seen a old school death metal band. We're the real deal, and usually at a typical show, a lot of violence, a lot of headbanging, a lot of old school pits, and that's what we bring when we play our music. A lot of chanting too. I like chanting. I'm into that a lot too. A lot of chanting.
A lot of chanting, as in like chanting, crowd chanting back with you when you're singing, or just
Don't go run, don't go run. You know, the typical hey, a lot of that, man. I'm into that old school stuff.
we'll put that call out there, mate, and we'll try and get as many people going all right as they can. Just give
Sure,
you a
for
surprise.
sure.
Now you're coming over, as we said before, with Roddy and Christ, mate. So it's a brutal double act, man. So why do you think you 2 bands in particular make good touring partners?
No, I think it's a good package because we're completely different. You know, you got a death metal band, and you got Riding Christ. What do you label them as? I mean, they're kind of like a rock star band. They're amazing band. I think for us, it's really something special because we get to play in front of a different crowd. You know, showcase ourselves in a different audience, and that's what we like doing, trying to win them over one by one. Every night, and that's what we're looking forward to.
So, like, with the mentality out, I guess, bro, like, what do you go, like, you're opening for Rotting Christ. So, like, do you, with no disrespect to the main band, but do you guys go out there to try and kick their ass every night, or are you going out there just to warm the crowd up and have fun?
We're gonna go up there, warm the crowd up, man. That's what our job is. I mean, but we're gonna bring it as well too. I like playing with them. They're really very production band. They're going to have a lot of production going on. I know I've seen them before. They're great. And then you got us. We're more of a plug and play band, and I like that. So it's just going to make us a lot more raw, just plugging and playing and just throwing it down their throat.
Listen, now you mentioned just before the Rotting Christ are a difficult band to label, but you guys yourself, you've got a lot going on musically. Like your music blends old school thrash with the death metal. There's crossover and crust punk in there. Like, where did that sound come from initially? Like when you guys started, I couldn't imagine that everyone was doing that. Like, did you sit down and have a
Yeah,
meeting and say we want to do this and this, or did it just come together?
I think it just came together. That was a little bit of everything, the recipe, like a Frankenstein. We got a little bit of everything. I grew up on like, obituary and SOD, all that stuff. And that's kind of what we are, a little bit of that, and that's what I kind of feel is.
Now, how about during like the writing process, mate? Like, how do you find the balance between all those influences? Like, is it trial and error? Like, how do you know when you've gone too far with one style and not far enough with another?
Uh, I think for us over the writing, it's all feel. We kind of just feel it out, and we keep going till it feels right. And when it feels like it's finished, that's when it's finished. We kind of don't really spend too much time on trying to write too long of songs. We like them, 3.5 minutes, and that time frame, just to let them just, dissolve it all enough, and then give them more. Give them a break and give them another 3 minute. I like that length song.
Like, you guys really are old school, mate. I reckon there's a few younger bands these days could take a bit of a bit of a tip from that and just get it, just do
Yeah,
it, stick to the basics and don't fuck around.
yeah, yeah. That's what we do, pretty much.
So going back in time, bro, like Jungle Rot started back in 1992 with you joining it 1994, mate. So what was your early vision for the band back then, and how's it changed since?
The early visions were doing just what we're doing now. Playing some of these places like Australia and all these biggest festivals that we've been doing over the years. That was the vision. Always try to take it as far as we can, and change why we really hadn't changed much, because I took, since I joined the band, I took over all the writing, pretty much all the writing, and that keeps it, pretty much Jungle Rot the way we are, because I'm handling most of the duties on writing, and I think that's what keeps the recipe going.
Like over that 30 plus years of being in a band, though, mate, like there's been so many trends coming out in the music industry, so much bullshit going on in there, but you guys have stuck true to your DNA, I guess. Like, but how difficult is it surviving, I guess, and existing as a band when you refuse to conform to what everyone else is doing?
I know what you're saying, man, because that's been like the saying of our career, but I've always said, not to use any band, but like Slayer, a band like Slayer, they've never changed their whole career. That's not easy to do. It's so easy to change from the flavor of the month or what's hot and what's not, and it's not easy to stay true to yourself. And I think more bands should be applauded doing that. We made an identity of what we are with our name and our sound, and we want to keep it. That's who we are.
And you released your 11th studio album, A Call to Arms, back in 2022, mate. So how would you say, like, we're talking about you guys sticking to your roots and are who you are, but how would you say Jungle Rot's sound, I guess, has grown or changed over the course of your 11 albums?
I I think it progressed. Every album progresses more, just in writing wise, riff wise, just lyrically wise, just everything production wise. I think you always want to top the last one, but like I said before, most of it's always going to sound like jungle rap because of the writing. But I think everyone's better than the last one. I mean, and that's our goal, is to try to make the next one better than the last. That's what we like doing.
Now, you mentioned your role in the writing process for the music for the band, mate. So after 30 years, I guess, of writing and 11 albums, mate, like, does it get easier or harder to come up with new, fresh material the more you write?
Easier. I mean, because we know what we're doing, we got a formula that works, and it just comes that much faster. I'm always picking up the guitar, writing riffs. It just seems like it's some guitar players can relate to me. You can just pick up the guitar and you can start writing. I could just start writing riffs, and the ones that stick to your head, you remember, and then you just start building them up and record them on your phone. Before you know, you have 10 changes, 12, 15, 20, and then eventually it just comes together and makes a song. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
It is indeed. So you will be out here in May, as we say, mate, but there's a smash and grab run of shows while you're in Australia. So what's next for Jungle Rod after that, mate? What do you got planned for the rest of 2024?
We'll come back from that and keep writing. We got a month to write, and then we're heading to Europe for like six weeks. We leave in June. We get back in August, and then we got a month to get ready to go in the studio in September, and then start all over the first of the year in 25.
Just a continual cycle, isn't it? The cycle of metal. What more could you ask
Yeah,
for?
yeah, it's exactly what it is. I mean, we'll probably release it in the spring of 25 and then get back out there. But it's really amazing, when you're in a band and you think 25 already. When you plan ahead, it's amazing how fast the years become, because you're planning 6, 7 months ahead. So the years go so much faster than they normally do.
Yes, they do. But it's not going to take another 30 years to come back out into Australia, though, is it?
I hope not. I think when we come out there, we're going to win over the crowd, and I think we're going to hopefully make a demand for us, and we'll be back there in 25 as well on the new album.
Sensation, Dave. Well, thanks very much for your time, mate. Just to refresh everyone's memory, Jungle Rot will be here with Rotting Christ from May the 1st, going to all the capital cities. So check out your socials and grab yourself a ticket.
Yes. Yeah, we'll see you there, man.
I'll
Old
see you at the
school.
Brisbane show, my man. You take care.
Thank you.